Hello.
Hello.
And thank you so much for having time for me again.
Always, yeah, pleasure.
So the Europe tour is almost over. How do you feel about it?
For me, it's pretty. It's very positive. It's a very good tour when it comes to fans, when it comes to venues sold out, and we like this package very much. So it's like a one big family here. I must say it's pretty exhausting. I have a big cold, so I gotta watch my voice and stuff like that. But yeah, it gives more energy actually instead of being tired for me. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, like he said, it has been amazing so far, and we were just saying last year we sat here, it's not a long time ago, and that was our plan, like release a new CD and immediately tour and meet the fans again. And this package is also really great, like 8-9 sold out shows almost. With Rod and Christ it's really easy to tour, really great friends, and the response is overwhelming, so really happy to present our new album, on an extensive European route once again.
Looking forward to it. So the last time we had this interview, I had it with Clemens a year ago. He couldn't tell me anything about the new album. But now, after the release, can you tell me a little bit about the story?
It's actually more different stories that come together and that form like one story. It's like about a black box actually. It's like if you in the beginning, if you bought the Digipack, it was like a box. If you open it, there comes a demon out. It's like a bit like how you say the Dibyuk box. It's like a Jewish mythology, is it? And this was the all-round idea we used for this album, but there are like more different stories inside of it that connect them together. Like, for example, one story is about a devil and a witch, and about a couple who was very happy, and the devil cannot throw them into unhappiness, so he calls a very smart witch to him, and he tells her like, "Hey, if you can do it, you get a prize and gold from me." So what happens is that the witch goes to the man during work, and she tells him like, "You gotta be careful." It's the other way around. First he goes to the wife, and he says, "If you want to be happy, your man he's gonna leave you. So I can do a spell if you bring me a lock of hair, and you will be for always together." At the same time, the witch goes to the husband, and she tells him like, "Watch it, your wife she's gonna stab you tonight with." And he's like, "I don't believe it," but still it keeps him awake. And at the end, he sees in the glimmering, in the shining of the windows, he sees exactly that his wife is coming with the knife towards him to cut off the hair. And he thinks, she's gonna kill me. So he goes crazy, he takes the knife off and he cuts her throat. So that's a little bit one of the stories with a little bit of a smart plot at the end. And that's how the witch or the devil gets his thing done. And this is only one part of the story. And these are like, we have like more of them, like 8. One is about a floating coffin, about Charles Francis Coughlin. And it's also like, it's pretty much like boxes, it's like a black box. Also the coffin, like Charles Francis Coughlin was about a coffin. This guy died actually, and his body actually, he was buried in Texas, and because of a hurricane, the coffin got washed out of the sea and disappeared for 7 years. And 7 years later, it turned up 2,000 miles further near his birthplace. So they found him there, and so it's pretty much.
It happened really.
This one happened actually pretty really, yeah. So
Yeah, and for myself, the idea I always have is like, how can you draw the listener more into an album? Like, not just tell a story, but my idea was, how can you make the listener part of the story? So, there are lots of different stories, but the premise of the album is like a girl playing with a Ouija board. And you were told as a listener that this was the cause of all the evil stories coming through, but it's only in the end that it's revealed that she had a black box beforehand already. And the cool thing is that the listener has to open the black box in order to listen to the album, so you are doomed too. So this was like the 3 or 4 dimensional way of luring the listener in, and that's always something that I I'm really excited about how to do this, to do something extra. It's not for everyone, it's also just metal songs that people can enjoy, that they are used from us. So there's something to go in and explore, like the different stories that Dennis just said, or you can just play and have a good time.
Did you ever try out a Ouija board by yourselves?
We tried it more or less, but not for like really gotten deep into it. So, but when we tried it,
You're too scared?
No, not really scared, but it was like, oh, let's see what happens. But nothing actually really happened, I think maybe it's a matter of
better to listen to your music.
Yeah, it's more real in our stories.
We only create them, so.
Yeah.
So you are really masters of storytelling, and with this CD again, you bring the listeners in your own world, in your own story. How do you start making an album like this? Start you with lyrics or with the music?
It depends. At most cases, we start with a concept. So, for example, if Clemens or I come up with a story, and so it's, let's say, about a coffin that is floating in the sea. For him, it's then easier to make the music on it. Like you have the waves, the sounds, so he can already adapt to that. So, but sometimes it's also like he comes up with a part already, like a keyboard part with some drums underneath, and that just sounds good. And later on, we come with stories and we say, okay, this fits perfectly on that. So it's all about emotion, If there's a fast, aggressive part, then probably we'll be writing something about death and disaster, and if there's a very emotional part, we're probably, like this coffin story about the coffin on the waves. It's more like, I would say it epic. I would describe it like the song Charles Francis Coughlin, for example. So
you can say that the story is usually the heartbeat underneath it all. Yeah. Like right now, I'm writing a lot of parts, but they don't have any meaning yet until the story is really confirmed, and it's like a puzzle, you start with different parts on the table, and then as the ideas grow and the concept grows, everything comes together more. So it goes hand in hand. With this one, it was like a long journey, and it was like a really creative process, but in the end we're very proud of it because everything fits together.
Where did you get your inspirations from?
Normally life itself, death, the reality actually, but also like books, books about mythology, about death, and for my case, and mostly it's like movies, horror movies. So
I can't get over it. That song for the death sounds exactly like a Tim Burton movie. Really, cool. I love it.
It's actually Ardek's thing. Ardek wrote the song for the dead, so it's.
It's really cool.
Thank you.
So the lineup for Carach Angren never changed now for about 15 years, I think. So is it hard to maintain this relationship?
Actually, not for us. It's for us. It's like chemistry. The three of us. It's like a clicking thing, And we've been using session players for like on the guitars now. I quit playing the guitar 2 years ago, I think, because of an injury, but also because of the choice. It's much better for me to move around as a vocalist on stage and to give a theatric show. And but no, it will always be the three of us. We like to call it the triangle. We are like it's the power thing. And I think if we would really change that and get a fourth person or a fifth person in there and would start to also if you would want to write, it would be like, it's like a working machine. You shouldn't change the formula.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like a family, The longer you work together, the better you know each other, and you also know each other's strengths and limits. And we are very different in a way. For example, my brother is a great drummer and technician. He's very rational. He can build things. You will see tonight. We have some crazy stuff with us again. And so you let him do that, and the guys let me write most of the music. I'm really grateful for it, so that I don't have to fight with another composer, or that. And Seregor is like the brilliant actor, the visual. And so the longer the band exists, the more you explore these terrains as a three-piece, and it works. So that's why we are very careful about keeping it this way and not changing the dynamics too much, because you see so many bands these days, they change the whole lineup and no one's left and it's a different band. So we just work hard to keep it this way.
So not your music is outstanding, also your appearance and your visual art is amazing and impressive. And I must say I'm very jealous about your makeup skills.
Oh, thank you.
Who does the makeup, even on the live tour?
Actually, Ardek does his own makeup, but I do the other guys.
You do everything yourself.
Yeah.
He's the master in it, so.
That's amazing.
So,
really.
but it's the thing. I've been doing it like since I was 18. I'm even 16. I think I'm 37 now. So all this time I've been busy with corpse paint. I remember my first bands. They were like, "Oh, my hair it's itchy," and I was, "Fuck off, come on, corpse paint." And I got out of these bands. Later I met Ardek and Namtar. It became Carach Angren. The corpse paint came back, and this is what it became. And the way we put the corpse paint on now, it's like the skeleton face, like the skull. And it took some years to get to this. If you take our first albums, you see we have a different corpse paint, and it actually came like Where the Corpses Sing Forever. That's the one where I stick to my own corpse paint, and I haven't changed it since actually. And it might change a little bit, but it's actually very simple. It's the skull face, death.
But it looks awesome.
Thank
Really.
you, thank you.
So I'm afraid we are at the end of our interview.
Okay.
So did I anything forget? Is there anything left you want to say to your fans?
Just keep supporting us, and we will give you the
We will.
energy. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the interview, and glad to be back in Backstage once more. So see you tonight, and not tonight, because the moment you are gonna put it on YouTube, it's already gone. But we're gonna see everyone on the road. Thank you.
Thank you.